Any questions so far?
Yeah. Is this a situation like Gettysburg, when after all this carnage, the armies move on and the citizens of this little town are left with this mess?
Both. Meaning that the Confederates, they retreated, the Federals, the Confederates are here, they buried their dead first and then the POWs buried the other, but the wounded were here, doctors are left here, but the people of Franklin took care of both sides, so both on that question. Good question. Claiborne was taken over to Carrington along with Adams, Granbury, and Straw. I'm going to go through him later. A handkerchief was placed over his face and embroidered by his fiancée, Susan Tarleton. The men are howling, not only his division. They take him in a wagon to Columbia, place him in a walnut coffin made by Elijah Neely. Why do I say that? But a poem was laid on his coffin. Blow ye breezes, softly o'er him. Fan his brow with gentle breath. Disturb him not his sleepful slumber. Claiborne sleeps the sleep of death. Rest thee, Claiborne, tears of sadness flows from hearts thou'st nobly won. Memory ne'er cease to cherish. Deeds of glory thou hast done. They buried him at St. John's, Mount Pleasant, for 5 years, where ironically he marched by there, dismounted, walked through the cemetery, and said it would not be too hard to die if you could be buried in a place so beautiful as this. And he was for 5 years, and the people of Helena, who said they've been to Helena, Arkansas, wanted him to come back home to his adopted home, and they brought him home on April 26, 1870, reinterred him. You wouldn't believe how many little boys I've met named Claiborne, Patrick Claiborne, whatever, on and on and on. It's incredible, incredible. A lot of Robert E. Lee's or whatever. I never met anybody named Braxton Bragg today. I wonder why.
What was the population, Frank?
It was 1,800 when the war began. There's only 800 here by the time of the battle. There's 9. I'm getting ahead of myself. I won't say that yet. But every building in the city was a hospital, and so 9,000 killed.
I was going to say, so the numbers are multiples.
Oh yes, incredible. And the town's never recovered from it, to be honest, and never will. But what we're going to do now, we're going to go back in time to 4:35 p.m. This went on until 9 o'clock at night. 4:35 p.m. and we're going to walk in that gap where the 1st Kentucky is. We're going to be Confederates. We're going to come right to the center. That's what we're going to turn it down. 4:35, the Confederates are coming right to that center, right in the gut.
Where were the Ocean?
That was to the east of us, about 300 yards, right, that Osage hedge right here, and then the Apatiste right here, right there. So you know by there, that's about 120, not even 100, but 110 yards. How you get 4,000 men here? And the casualties. Claiborne's went in with 3,000 strong. They lost 1,567 out of 3,000 right here. French's division 640 out of 2,200. Walthall's division 673 out of 2,400. Lawrence division 876 out of 3,416. That's 3,800 Confederates and 400 yards. The Federals, most of their dead here are casualties, so that's about 4,300 casualties and about 4 football fields. Now, that's why one soldier said that the coming generations will never be able to comprehend this, because they wasn't here. And how can I comprehend this? Maybe when I'm half asleep, half awake, I see things I'll never see when I'm with you, and which I won't even go into that. No. And that's why you don't see a lot saved, but now they're doing a whole lot now. So let's backtrack. We're going to go back to the breakthrough, and then the counterattack, and the 17 attacks of the Garden. Your map of the Civil War. Nashville was, but why is that? Nashville overshadowed it because it's so decisive, and back to it. And it's, why, when it's twice big as charge in the general's battle, I'll explain later why. It's just so damn horrible. Even for veterans, they never see nothing like this. Nothing. And we're just getting started. I warned again all of you, this is maneuvering and everything yesterday and stuff today, and the wonderful house tours, but now this is what it's down and dirty. Should we forget this? Or should we remember it? They earned the right to be remembered. So now the Confederates are bursting through the center. They capture these 4 cannons. They're wheeling two of them that day. That way, wanting to fire down the trench line. They couldn't find the friction primers. They're pulling cartridges out of their cartridge boxes, pouring gunpowder onto the back of the cannons, reloading their rifles without the ball, trying to fire into the back of the cannons, which would not pass the National Park Service chief safety standards today. At the same moment, Columbus Carson, 50th Ohio, right over there, just sent that letter to his son about kill those rats in the barn. Whack. He falls over dead, never found again. Colonel James Stockton of the 72nd Illinois. The regimental color went down killed. He picks up the colors. He's wounded the shoulder. He's carried off the field. Lieutenant Colonel Pryor picks up the colors. He's shot in the throat and falls over dead. So the Confederate are overwhelming this main line through here and to this section right here. And now they're headed toward that inner line I warned you about. You remember Thomas Hansford, 12th Kentucky, with his son Willis, 21 years old, Thomas 44, and James Falk, his nephew. James Falk, shot in the side of the head, falls over dead. Thomas is kneeled by his nephew. He's shot in the rib cage. Willis carries him off the field to the bridge, and he said, "Go with the troops, son. Do the best you can, or you two will be lost." And officers made him leave. He never found his daddy again. As an old man, they'd asked him about great-grandpa Hansford, lost at Franklin. He's in a better place than we are. Tears are rolling down his cheeks. James Broden and his two sons, Moses and Jacob Broden, 12th Kentucky. Daddy James falls over dead. Moses kneeling by his daddy. He's wounded. Jacob carries his brother off the field. They never found their father again. Henry Kalman, remember the 175th Ohioan that was 16 years old, enlisted in October so his mama could receive the $331 bonus? He got shot, carried off the field. He would die 2 days later. They said his dear mother would cry every night, inconsolable, until she had a dream. The boy asked her not to cry anymore. It was never any better. Her tears were keeping his shroud wet. He was in heaven, see her very soon. Said she never cried a day after that. Albert Templeton, 9th Tennessee, Confederate over there. He's killed. The family came to recover his body, brought back to Sparta, Tennessee. They're getting ready to bury him. The mother had what we would call in the old days a nervous breakdown, and they didn't bury him. They got real cold, couldn't bury him. And then the father died about a month later, suddenly. The community thought they buried the boy. He laid in the coffin for 23 years upstairs, and the mama would rock him by the coffin every morning, every night. When she died, they were horrified. He hadn't been buried. They buried him next to each other. And I know people have been in that house in Sparta. There's still rivets in the floor where she would rock every night, whatever time. She'd rock rivets in the floor by that coffin.
While he decomposed for...
Ma'am?
She rocked while he was decomposing?
I guess so.
All,
you know, we all deal with grief and anger differently. And I guess they gave her comfort somehow to be with her son, even though he's gone. Albert Templeton, 9th Tennessee. I know people have seen those rivets in the floor from that rocking chair there. So the main point now, I could keep wearing out with us, and I'm going to give you a lot more stories, but this main line from here to here has been overwhelmed. A big wall coming over it. WWX and 5th Confederate Infantry bayoneted 5 times in the middle of the road. As they're sweeping toward that inner line, a Confederate said, "I'm coming through the center." Remember how thick the smoke is? It's 10 or 12 feet around you, a dreamlike state. A Yank came up on my right with the butt of my rifle, bam, hit him upside the head and split his head open. Another Yank came up on me. I bayoneted him, fired my rifle, killed him and the one behind him. Another Yank came up on me with a rifle horizontal, hit him in the throat. Now 2 officers through the smoke fired at each other. They miss. They pull out their knives and come to each other. They gut each other. And ironically, they're smiling the next morning, dead, holding on to each other. They're both smiling. When people cross over, it's all different, whatever, but they're both smiling. So they've overwhelmed this line, and now they've overwhelmed that inner line. They're coming right through the center with that high-pitched rebel yell as they're coming right through that gut here. So let's walk up to this inner line, and we'll... What many believe, you believe this, you know this, but non-Civil War people, they think there's a lot of hand-to-hand fighting everywhere. You know, there's very little hand-to-hand fighting in the American Civil War. You couldn't get close enough to each other. These rifles were so accurate. But here it's different. It's mano-mano. It's every man for himself. I don't give a damn what's happening over there, and I don't give a damn what's happening over there. All I care about is his eyes, right there. That's all I care about. And it is vicious and brutal hand-to-hand fighting. Whatever story I'm telling you, multiplied by hundreds going around them. And I know one thing that I know what they're saying is that everything is at the speed of light, but everything is in slow motion. It's slow motion all around me. There's 100 battles going on around me. Is all I care about is Sheldon right there. That's all I give a damn about right there. A Confederate soldier. Who's in the 29th Tennessee? Yeah, a Confederate soldier bayoneted to death on the front steps of the Carter House, 29th Tennessee, 11th and 29th. The Yank immediately killed. A Yank bayoneted close to the front steps of the Carter House before the Southerner could pull the bayonet out of the ground and wound. His head, quote unquote, was crushed by a rifle butt and his brains splattered everyone around him. Moscow Carter later stated that they scraped up a half a bushel basket of brains around those front steps been crushed out of men's heads, quote unquote. I mean, and now it's gonna get worse because who's 75 yards north of the Lotels? Updike's brigade. Remember how Updike would not obey orders? Now, Colonel Thomas Motherspaugh, 73rd Illinois, swings into the saddle and yells out, 73rd, forward to the works. Updike's running out there going, stop him, stop him, stop him. Motherspaugh said, it's too late now, too late now. Wagner disobeyed orders, Updike disobeyed orders, and now the men are disobeying orders. It's a soldier's fight, remember? You're the commanding general on the 2 square feet of ground you stand on. Major Arthur MacArthur, I'm looking at this backwards, 24th Wisconsin yells out, up Wisconsin! Lieutenant Colonel Porter Olson, 36th Illinois yells out, take them boys! And quote unquote, they burst out of the ground like diamonds. And now both sides, Yank and Reb, Northerner, Southerner, Confederate, Federal, whatever, they're all Americans. But they met on the run like waves crashing together. And now it transcends. They are clubbing, clawing, bayoneting, strangling, gouging, shooting, and biting each other. Like medieval times here. Like William Wallace or Leonidas fighting the Persian hordes at Thermopylae. And riding up in the counterattack, Major Arthur MacArthur, 24th Wisconsin, shot in his right shoulder and knocked off his horse. He rises to his feet. He has a Confederate major in the middle of the road. I think it's Major Meek, 6th Arkansas, can't prove it, holding a flag and a pistol. The two men seek out each other in this smoke. As they're near each other, Major Meek, holding the flag, shoots MacArthur in the chest with a second wound. He falls again. He considered the man was dead. He wasn't. He should have put 3 more clips in him. He looks to the south, waving the men through the breakthrough, and as he's looking away, MacArthur rises to his feet and runs Major Meek, or Maurice, completely through with a sword. He falls to his knee, dying, but as a parting shot, he shoots MacArthur in his right kneecap on his knees. Both men are considered mortally wounded. Unfortunately, Meek dies. They brought MacArthur to Nashville. Some of you know the rest of the story. And he lives to be the father of the famous general of World War II fame, General what? The father of General... The father of General Douglas MacArthur. Not the granddad, but the daddy. Right here. Has history been changed by this much? So in 20 minutes of just the beginning of the 9th level of hell, the Federals recapture this inner line right here. They recapture that 1st Kentucky battery right behind you. The Confederates are holding on to that main line right over there. The Carter Garden, a 2 square acre plot of land where there's going to be 17 attacks, which we're allowed to go over that corner. And as the Confederates seal this inner line, there's a Captain Alvin Philbrook, 24th Wisconsin, comes up to this inner line, and there's an Irishman dodging and ducking. And who can blame him? Federal soldier. And Philbrook comes up to this man, and it's right across, right over there. We're going to cross over there in a moment. Goes up to this man, and there's nothing worse than somebody trying to sound like they're from the South, or somebody from the South trying to sound like from the North. And it's even horrible, worse to try to sound like you're from Ireland. I'm American. I'm going to do the Wisconsin accent and the Irish accent. Whatever. But Philbrook comes up to this man, Irishman, dodging and ducking, federal, and he said, "Why in the devil don't you stand up and fight like a man? Why in the devil don't you fight?" Now at this point, what happened to Philbrook?